to be next, but I'm also going to introduce, we've got the Emil Hurst Jr. in the building, who I'll get him to take over the interviewing because he does that best. So I'll let Emil and Anitra go.
What's going on?
Not much.
Make sure you log on to YouTube and check out Vertical Capital. This is real estate from a lender's perspective.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, let's get into it. So, lessons learned in 2023,
So,
and what are we doing moving forward in 2024?
Yep. So from, like you said, from the lender's perspective, ours is more not financial.
Push up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But more on a behavioral side, right? We learned that everyone does not value relationships and partnerships the same. We learned that a lot of people use relationships, or they use that word loosely, right? And so the value, a lot of people think a relationship is like a one-off transactional, and don't realize that it should be when you enter into that relationship, you should enter it with a mindset of long-term, even exchange of value. So that was kind of hard for us because my business partner and I, we believe in giving value every step of the way to our borrowers, no matter what the situation is. And so there were a lot of times where we would try to not allow our emotions or the response from one of our partnerships or a borrower to dictate how we do our business, right? And so we're going to continue to add that value. And what I mean by that is for the first time, we had to take back 2 properties within one in September and one last week, where both borrowers were just completely non-communal, right? And borrower number 1, although he was non-communal, we still were able to find him another lender to cash us out. And so that's what I mean when I say about those long-term relationships, because we create relationships with other lenders as well that can possibly cash you out of our deal. And then that's another relationship that you can forge as a borrower. But when you become absent, that makes it hard. And so this guy, both loans terms went into a year. We were now approaching a year. They were behind 4, 5, 6 months of payments, and we still came to the table with his appraisal money for the new lender. And I also came up with some other costs to get him to the finish line. And so I took his property, and in 7 days, I sold the property back to him, right? Now, I could have been a jerk because his grandmother was in the property. And that's what I mean when I say not allowing my emotions to dictate to me how I'm going to do business with someone and continue to add value to that person. And on the day of the closing, he was so grateful. He was so thankful. I was able to, the new lender was happy as well, although he had these behavior issues with non-payment. I try to keep up with that. I think he's doing very well now. But again, to be able to do that, to be able to come behind somebody who's behind on their payments and still make the payment for their appraisal, that comes with the underwriting. So on this particular property, what he owed us, in addition to the additional costs that I add on to this loan, plus what he needed to qualify for the new lender, he was still all in like $260 on a property that appraised for $410. Right, so that came in on our underwriting on the first half. So again, building relationships, because I'm not going to bring the second lender no junk. So I have to make sure that my underwriting is tight on the front end in the event that this is going to happen, right? And of course, we're in the market where it's going to happen. But I'm not interested in taking your property. I'm interested in helping you get across the bridge right now. I know we have a couple of people that are late right now, and so what can I do as a lender to help you get across or to help us get through this moment? You know, our underwriting, we adjusted our underwriting 2 years ago. I'm not an economist, but I do follow economic channels and things of that nature, going to conferences and stuff like that. That helps, right? And so 2 years ago, we were told to adjust our underwriting, and we did that.
I think that's a good segue. So we're gonna take what we did 2 years ago, and what does that look like for 2024? How we adjust?
I'm not changing it. I think where we're at, we're good. We lend up to 65%. On average, we're at about 61 to 62%. So we're gonna stick it there. We're gonna stay there. It's worked so far. Again, if I have to get rid of some other property, I don't want to become a landlord. I've been there, done that. You know, I started my investment journey in 2004. But I'm not interested in using vertical capital as a landlord. So in that case, I have to underwrite, you know, tight on the front end or whatnot. But I can't dictate someone's behavior either. But I can kind of gauge it a little bit by just continuing to extend that arm, right? Even if you don't answer my emails, even if you don't answer my text messages, I'm still gonna send them to you.
Yeah, well, I think that's good. So, and you coming for drinks after?
Hopefully.
Hopefully?
Okay.
Okay.
Coming up.
All right, well, let's give it up for Anitra at Vertical Capital.
Thanks.